Boring history for sleep. Good evening and welcome. Tonight, we are trapped more than 250 years to colonial America, long before electricity, alarm clocks, or the busy sounds of modern cities. This was a world where people lived by the rising and setting of the sun. Their mornings were slow, practical, and filled with simple tasks that shaped every day of their lives. So, get comfortable, relax, and let's quietly step into the peaceful morning of colonial America. Imagine it is just before sunrise in the year 1765. The sky is still dark, and the only sounds are crickets fading into silence and a rooster announcing the coming day. There are no phones buzzing, no traffic outside, and no electric lights glowing in the windows. Most families wake naturally. Some are stirred by the crowing of a rooster. Others simply wake because the first light begins to shine. In winter, mornings are cold. Leaving the warmth of a feather-filled bed is never easy. The first person awake is often the mother of the household. She quietly adds dry wood to the fireplace and carefully puts on the remaining coals from the night before. If the fire has completely gone out, starting a new one can take patience and skill. A warm fire is essential, not only for comfort, but also for cooking breakfast. Soon, the rest of the family begins to rise. Children dress in simple handmade clothing, made from linen or wool. There are no closets full of outfits. Most people own only a few sets of clothes, carefully repaired whenever they become worn. Before breakfast, everyone has work to do. On a farm, boys may walk outside to feed chickens, gather eggs, or bring water from a nearby well. Girls often help prepare food, sweep the floor, or care for younger brothers and sisters. Fetching water is one of these first responsibilities. Without indoor plumbing, every bucket must be carried by hand. During freezing winters, breaking ice to reach fresh water is simply another part of daily life. Breakfast is modest. Cornmeal porridge, coarse bread, fresh milk, or leftovers from the previous evening are common. Wealthier families may enjoy butter, cheese, or smoked meat. But for many people, breakfast is simple and filling rather than exciting. Meals are eaten without rushing. The family often begins with a short prayer, giving thanks to the food before them. Conversation is usually quiet because everyone knows a long day of work is about to begin. After breakfast, tools for farming, repairing fences, or caring for animals. Women begin baking bread, making soap, spinning wool, sewing clothing, or preserving food. Every task is important because families produce much of what they need themselves. Children are expected to help from an early age. Life in colonial America leaves little time for idleness. Even young children learn responsibility through everyday chores. As the sun climbs higher into the sky, the peaceful morning slowly transforms into a breaking day. Fields fill with farmers. Workshops echo with the sound of hammers, and villages come alive with quiet activity. Yet despite the hard work, in colonial America, a calm rhythm that feels almost impossible to imagine today. There are no emails to answer, no social media to check, and a constant stream of notifications. Life moves at the steady pace of nature itself. And as we leave this quiet colonial morning behind, we can appreciate the simple routines that helped build early American communities, one sunrise at a time. Thank you for joining this peaceful journey through history. Rest well, and we'll continue another quiet chapter of America's past in the next episode.
ammunition, and legacy. In 2022, the U.S. Congress awarded the Ghost Army the Congressional Gold Medal, recognizing their courage, creativity, and brilliance. Their legacy still inspires the U.S. military's modern psychological. Before victory was won in 1945, there was another kind of war. A war fought not with bullets, but with paint, sound, and imagination. Under the pale moonlight in northern France, a group of American soldiers were inflating massive rubber tanks. From a distance, it looked like a real armored battalion preparing for battle. In truth, it was a deception. They called themselves the Ghost Army, officially the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, a secret U.S. military unit whose only job was to fool Hitler. Their mission was simple but insane. Make the enemy believe something that isn't real, and they will act as if it is. Chapter 1. The Birth of an Idea. In 1943, Allied generals realized brute force wasn't enough. German intelligence was watching everything: troop movements, radio chatter, supply lines. One leak could destroy an entire operation. That's when the idea of visual was born. Colonel Billy Harris and Major Ralph Ingersoll proposed something revolutionary: to create a fake army so convincing that it would manipulate Nazi strategy. They gathered not commandos, but artists, painters, sculptors, sound engineers, designers from Yale, Pratt Union, and Hollywood studios. These men would soon turn war into art. Chapter 2. The 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Activated on January 20th, 1944, the Ghost Army had only 1,023 soldiers, divided into 1. 603rd Camouflage Engineers, inflatable tanks, fake camps, dummy artillery. 2. 3132 Sonic Company, massive sound systems mimicking entire armies. 3. Signal Company Special, fake radio transmissions. 4. 406 Combat Engineers, security and logistics. Their unofficial motto: we can make a division where there is none and hide one where it is. Chapter 3. Training in Illusion. At Fort Meade, Maryland, and Camp Forest, Tennessee, soldiers practiced inflating tanks, broadcasting fake artillery, and painting false insignias. They tested sunlight angles, shadows, and how to make fake tire tracks believable. Hollywood sound engineers from Warner Brothers helped them create battlefield audio tapes. They weren't learning how to kill, they were learning how to convince. Chapter 4. Normandy's Phantom Division. After D-Day, the Ghost Army finally took the stage. In July 1944, during Operation Elephant, they impersonated the 2nd Armored Division with 1,000 men pretending to be 15,000. They set up tanks and trucks, played thunderous tank sounds, and filled the night with fake radio chatter. German planes spotted the army and fell for it completely. The Germans moved their artillery north, away from the real Allied forces. Thousands of lives were saved. Chapter 6. Sound as a weapon. The 3132 Sonic Company turned war into theater. They recorded the roars of tanks, engines, and artillery on giant acetate discs. Those sounds were blasted from 500-pound speakers mounted on trucks. The illusion could be heard 15 miles away. German scouts swore they could hear hundreds of tanks. When they attacked, they found nothing, only empty fields. Chapter 7. The Radio Ghosts. The signal company faked radio traffic for entire divisions. Operators imitated the exact tone and rhythm of real U.S. commanders. They sent false coordinates, battle updates, and secret orders, all intercepted by German intelligence. To Nazi analysts, the Ghost Army's phantom divisions looked perfectly real on the map. Chapter 8, Operation Brest. In September 1944, they created a massive fake buildup north of Brest, France. Fake camps, fake soldiers, fake tanks, everything. German reconnaissance was fooled again. They diverted their forces north, and the real Allied troops attacked from the south, capturing Brest faster than planned. It was deception turned into victory. Chapter 9. The Battle of the Bulge. During the bitter winter of 1944, the Ghost Army faced real danger. They were deployed near Luxembourg during the Battle of the Bulge. Armed only with illusion, they made the enemy believe that entire U.S. corps were waiting in the snow. Their rubber tanks froze and cracked, but they kept the ruse alive. Many came under artillery fire, some were killed, yet their deception prevented massive Allied losses. Chapter 10, Operation Viersen, Crossing the Rhine. Their final act came in March 1945. The Allies were preparing to cross the Rhine River into Germany. To hide the real crossing, the Ghost Army built an entire fake operation 30 miles away. They created fake camps, fake bridges, endless radio chatter, and booming sound effects. German scouts swore they could hear hundreds of tanks. When they attacked, they found nothing, only empty fields. Chapter 11, Silence and Secrecy. After the war, the Ghost Army was sworn to silence. Their work was classified for over 50 years. They returned home quietly, becoming painters, designers, photographers, and teachers. No one knew the truth until 1996, when the mission was finally declassified. The world was stunned. Epilogue, Recognition and Legacy. In 2022, the U.S. Congress awarded the Ghost Army the Congressional Gold Medal, recognizing their courage, creativity, and brilliance. Their legacy still inspires the U.S. military's modern psychological operations and deception tactics. As Sergeant Ralph Ingersoll said, "We fought with imagination, and imagination won."
Namlu Setur Idris.
In Colonial America. Boring history. For sleep. Good evening and welcome. Tonight we'll quietly step into the kitchens of Colonial America, where every meal was shaped by the seasons, hard work, and whatever nature could provide. There were no supermarkets, no refrigerators, and certainly no fast food. Every bite of food required patience, skill, and countless hours of labor. So get comfortable, relax, and let us discover what ordinary families ate more than 250 years ago. Imagine the first light of dawn spreading across a small colonial farm in the year 1765. The smell of wood smoke drifts from a stone chimney as the fire is carefully brought back to life after the long night. Breakfast is never extravagant. Most families begin the day with a warm bowl of cornmeal porridge, slowly cooked over the fireplace. Corn is one of the most important crops in colonial America, making it a daily part of life. Alongside the porridge, there may be coarse brown bread, baked from rye or wheat, depending on the family's harvest. Fresh butter is a luxury for some, while others simply dip their bread into milk or eat it plain. If the family owns eggs gathered only moments before. Wealthier households may also enjoy smoked bacon or salted ham, but meat is not guaranteed every morning. Fresh milk is common on farms with cows, though it spoils quickly without refrigeration. Many families also make cheese, which lasts much longer and valuable nutrition during the winter months. Sugar is expensive. Instead of sweet pastries or cereals, many people flavor their food with honey or maple syrup when available. By midday, everyone has already spent hours working in the fields, tending animals, or caring for the home. Dinner, the largest meal of the day, is prepared over the open hearth. A large iron pot hangs above the fire, slowly cooking a thick stew filled with whatever ingredients are available. Potatoes, onions, cabbage, carrots, beans, and turnips are common vegetables. If the family has preserved meat, small pieces are added to flavor the broth. Bread remains an important part of every meal. Many families bake several loaves each week inside brick ovens heated by burning wood. Fresh fruit depends entirely on the season. Apples are among the most common fruits, eaten fresh, dried for winter, or baked into simple pies. Berries are gathered from nearby forests during the warmer months. In coastal colonies, fish often replaces meat. Cod, herring, oysters, and clams provide affordable sources of protein for many families living near rivers and the Atlantic coast. As evening approaches, supper is usually lighter than dinner. Leftover stew, bread, cheese, or a small bowl of porridge often ends the day. Nothing is wasted. Every crumb of bread, every vegetable peel useful for soup, and every preserved piece of meat is carefully saved. Food is precious because every harvest depends on weather, hard work, and a little bit of luck. Compared to modern kitchens filled with endless choices, the meals of colonial America seem remarkably simple. Yet they provided enough strength for families who worked from sunrise until sunset. As the fire slowly fades and the farmhouse grows quiet once again, another peaceful day in colonial America comes to an end. Thank you for joining this relaxing journey into America's culinary past. Rest well, and I'll see you in the next chapter of Boring History USA.